Welcome back. I'm Steven Henderson. The way we get from point A to point B has changed really drastically in recent years. Whether it is by autonomous car, ride sharing, or other means, consumers have a lot of new options when it comes to their transportation. Joining me now to talk about mobility services is Lyft General Manager for Michigan and Ohio, Elliot Darvick, and founder of Condor Detroit, Tarun Kajeepeta. Welcome to my week.
Thanks so much for having us on.
Yeah. So this idea of ride sharing, we were talking before the show. Yep. I was a late adopter of these things, but I can't imagine the world without it at this point. And so I can imagine for you guys that move from people really not even understanding what this is to it being ubiquitous forces a lot of change for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when we just look at how people are using ride sharing, people make a lot of assumptions. It's to and from bars, it's to and from Little Caesarina. When I look at our data, it's individuals going to an FCA plant in Warren. They're going to call centers. And so it is fundamentally, when you say it, can't imagine life without it, it is a means to get to work for a number of individuals. So, and I think watching that over time has been really fascinating for me.
Talk about Condor and what it is.
Yeah, so we're a month-to-month car subscription service. The idea is trying to make it as flexible, simple, and transparent for people to get into a daily vehicle. So an entirely digital platform. Customers can sign up online. It takes about 5 minutes. Choose the type of vehicle they like, the mileage that they need, and basically schedule a delivery to their door. And we'll bring a car to them, insurance and maintenance included in a monthly payment.
Yeah. Who are the people who are subscribing to this service?
So originally our thinking was it's going to be a lot of business travelers, young professionals who are here for an uncertain period of time and need access to a car. What we're finding is that it's a mass market product. You know, there are a lot of folks who are just tired with the dealer experience, fed up with car ownership, and want to try something that gives them real flexibility, real choice. And so you can literally cancel this at any time. And, you know, it's something you can do with your smartphone in 5 minutes, and you've got a car that you can drive with all of your different payments included in one.
Yeah. I'm also really curious about how you guys see this fitting into the larger conversation about transportation. And I would include not just personal transportation, but public transit, which, of course, in this region, Southeast Michigan, we've been talking a lot about lately and not coming up with great solutions. But it seems to me that what you guys are doing has to inform the way we think about those things too.
Yeah, I think they're complementary. When we look nationwide at Lyft ridership data, roughly 1 in 5 trips starts or ends at a point of public transportation.
Oh, really?
So they are complementary. And in Detroit, that number is about 13% of trips. I would love it to be just at the national average. That it's a means of lowering the cost of my Lyft. And I Lyft to the station, and I take a bus or a train on the way in. So I view them as complementary. I personally take the bus to work probably 3 out of 5 days and Lyft the rest. I, kind of go with both of them.
Yeah, and I think from our perspective, as obviously we know, in the Metro Detroit area, public transit is a work in progress. And so people need solutions that are more flexible than having a regular car with the insurance challenges we have in the state, with the high cost of maintenance due to the infrastructure of our roads. And so being able to have a more flexible option to do that is kind of an evolution of car ownership. And when we think about trends like autonomous vehicles, mobility becomes a true service. And so public transit and car ownership start to converge a little bit. We think we can play a critical role in that space in providing the mobility solutions that people use in the future.
Okay, add something to that. If I was, I'm running DDOT, I would really pitch the bus system as an extension of my smartphone. That's what Lyft is, right? Everything is run off my phone. Now we are getting real-time tracking information on smart buses, on DDOT. My phone is a means to get somewhere.
It's the way we get around other than public transportation. Why shouldn't public transportation
think of it as an extension rather than this big thing here? So,
Well, where are we headed with all of this? You said when we were talking before, your business seems to change very rapidly.
Every 6 months.
Every 6 months. That's an incredible pace. What is the end point, or is there an end point for the sort of disruption of traditional transportation models?
Yeah, for me, I think for Lyft as a company, the endpoint is redesigning cities around people. It's bigger. Transportation is a component of that, but it's thinking about cities and how they've been designed, and historically they've been designed around personal car ownership.
Yeah.
So the end game is completely just thinking about our cities in a different way, and Lyft is a component of that.
And do you see Lyft working with, say, car companies, governments, to sort of get to that place? I mean, you'd have to have a lot more coordination than I feel like we have now to make that work.
We just launched a pilot with DDOT 2 weeks ago. We've worked with the mayor's office, who's been highly collaborative. We have a partnership with General Motors and Ford. So I think today you are seeing the seeds of all that blossom.
Yeah.
So that's absolutely the way forward.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Darren.
And when we think about, personal car ownership, there's all of these trends in the space. People are just interested in the sharing economy as a whole in terms of the new generation. There's these technologies such as autonomous that are coming online, but personal car ownership is not expected to decline at all in the immediate term. And so 10 years ago, leasing was not a prevalent thing, and it's skyrocketed in volumes. We see subscriptions as the next evolution of that, where it's the most flexible model available to people, and so it really bridges that gap for people as an option that's feasible today to meet all of your needs.
Yeah. You talked about planning cities around people that also maybe suggest a change to the way we live, as opposed, in addition to the way we get around. What would that maybe look like?
Yeah, I think like the Spirit of Detroit Plaza is a perfect example of that, right? Where you've reclaimed a road and turned it into a park. That quite literally changes my experience. That wasn't there for me to have lunch yesterday, and now it is.
Yeah.
So I think things like that are really what we'd love to see more of.
Yeah. I think for me in the city, it's helping people in low-density areas get access to transportation, right? So it's a huge problem that we face in Detroit, which is particularly unique to the area. And car-sharing solutions are immediate solves to that problem. And so if we can make it affordable to the average customer, where insurance costs are just through the roof, we can really meet an immediate need for people to get access to healthcare, to get access to food, to get to work, those types of things. And so we're evaluating partnerships right now with the city, with other players, to see how we can make access to this product available to everyone, all Detroiters.
Yeah. All right. The future looks very different, I think, than I'm used to. I have 2 children who say they want to wait to learn to drive until cars drive themselves. I can't imagine, right? Teenagers saying things like that, but it is a fast-moving sector. Elliot, Darvick, and Tarun, Kajeepeta, well, thanks for being here on My Week.
Thank you so much.
All right.